If you are relying on Social Security to fund your retirement, or if you are planning to claim benefits in the next few years, I need you to pay very close attention. The government has just announced the numbers for 2025, and on the surface, it looks like good news. They tell you that you are getting a raise, a cost of living adjustment, or COLA, of 2.5%. They pat themselves on the back and tell you the system is working. But I am here to show you the math they are not showing you. When you factor in the real inflation rate for seniors, the skyrocketing cost of health care, and the hidden tax brackets that are catching millions of retirees off guard, that 2.5% raise isn't just disappearing. It is actually a pay cut. Most retirees will have less purchasing power in 2025 than they did in 2024. This is what we call the Social Security trap. Give me the next 20 minutes, and I will break down exactly how this trap works, why the government's inflation formula is fundamentally flawed for anyone over 60, and most importantly, how you can engineer your own income raise to fight back. We are going to look at the Medicare Part B premium increases that are set to swallow your COLA whole. We are going to talk about the tax torpedo that hits when your Social Security income pushes you into a higher bracket. And I will give you a specific, actionable strategy to protect your standard of living. This is not just about complaining about the system. It is about mastering the rules so you don't get played by them. My name is Bill. I built Retirement Planning TV to be the resource I wish my own parents had. I am not here to sell you a product. I am here to look at the raw data, cut through the political noise, and give you the honest truth about your money. Whether you are searching for the best retirement investments for seniors, trying to figure out how to create passive income after 60, or just trying to understand the complexities of retirement planning over 60, you are in the right place. Today, we are going to do the math that Washington, D.C. hopes you never do. Before we dive into the numbers, here is our standard disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only. I am an educator and an analyst, not your personal financial advisor. Every situation is unique. Please consult with a licensed professional, CPA, or tax attorney before making financial decisions. Now, let's look at what is really happening to your check. The Great Inflation Lie, CPI-W versus CPI-E. To understand why you feel poorer even after a raise, you have to understand how the raise is calculated. The Social Security Administration uses a formula based on something called the CPI-W. That stands for the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. Think about that name for a second. Urban wage earners. This basket of goods tracks the spending habits of a 35-year-old office worker living in a city. It tracks the price of used cars, electronics, apparel, and gasoline. But you are not a 35-year-old office worker. You are a retiree. Your spending basket is completely different. You don't buy a new laptop every 2 years. You probably aren't commuting to work every day, so the price of gas affects you less than it does a worker. However, you spend a disproportionate amount of your income on healthcare, housing, and services. These are the sectors where inflation is running hot. Think about your property taxes. Think about your utility bills. Think about the cost of a visit to the dentist. These costs are rising much faster than 2.5%. This is why advocates have been pushing for years to switch to the CPI-E, the index for the elderly. The CPI-E gives much more weight to medical care and housing. If the COLA were based on the CPI-E, your raise would likely be closer to 4%, not 2.5%. That gap, that 1.5% difference, is money being quietly siphoned out of your pocket every single year. Over a 20-year retirement, That gap compounds into tens of thousands of dollars of lost purchasing power. This is the first layer of the trap. You are being paid based on someone else's inflation rate. It is like being paid in euros while you are living in a country that uses dollars, and the exchange rate is constantly moving against you. Let's remember the 1980s. I want to take you back for a moment. Do you remember the late 1970s and early 1980s? Interest rates were sky high. You could get a certificate of deposit paying 12% or more. Yes, inflation was high, but savers were rewarded. Today, we are in a different world. Interest rates have been historically low for over a decade, punishing savers, and now inflation has returned. But unlike the 80s, your safe money isn't earning double digits. You are being squeezed from both sides, rising costs and low yields on traditional savings. This requires a new playbook for retirement planning over 60. You cannot simply rely on the old rules. The Medicare Part B premium shock. Now, let's talk about the direct cost that eats your COLA before you even see it. Medicare Part B premiums. For most of you, these premiums are deducted directly from your Social Security check. You don't write a check for them, they just disappear. This is known as the hold harmless provision for some, but for many new retirees or those with higher incomes, the full brunt of the increase is felt. For 2025, the standard Part B premium is projected to rise significantly. This is driven by new, expensive drugs coming onto the market, particularly the new classes of Alzheimer's drugs and the general inflation in the medical sector. Let's look at a concrete example. Meet John. John receives a Social Security benefit of $2,000 a month. A 2.5% COLA gives him an extra $50 a month. That sounds okay. $50 covers a tank of gas, maybe. But wait, the Medicare Part B premium is projected to increase. If it goes up by, say, $20 a month, nearly half of John's raise is gone instantly. He is left with $30. That is $1 a day. Does $1 a day cover the increase in your property taxes? Does it cover the increase in your grocery bill? No. And that is the best-case scenario. For many seniors, especially those subject to IRMAA surcharges, the Medicare increase can actually be larger than the COLA increase. IRMAA stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. It is a surcharge added to your Part B and Part D premiums if your income exceeds certain thresholds: $103,000 for singles, $206,000 for couples in 2024. If you sold a house or took a large withdrawal from your IRA, you could trigger this surcharge. Suddenly, your Medicare premium isn't $174.70. It is $244 or $349 or even $594 per month. This results in a lower net Social Security check in January than you received in December. Think about the psychological blow of that. You worked all your life. You were promised a secure retirement, and your guaranteed income is shrinking in real terms. This is why relying solely on Social Security is one of the biggest senior retirement mistakes to avoid. The tax torpedo and bracket creep. This brings us to the third, and perhaps most insidious layer of the trap: taxes. Many seniors believe that Social Security is tax-free. For most, it is not. If your combined income exceeds a certain threshold, up to 85% of your benefits become taxable. Combined income is your adjusted gross income, plus non-taxable interest, plus half of your Social Security benefits. Here is the kicker. These thresholds, $25,000 for singles and $32,000 for couples, were set in 1984. they were never indexed for inflation. Not once in 40 years. Let me repeat that. The thresholds were set in 1984. Back then, those numbers affected only the wealthy. Today, they affect almost everyone with a decent savings account. Because the thresholds don't move, every time you get a COLA increase, your income goes up, pushing you closer to or over these tax cliffs. This is called bracket creep. A 2.5% COLA might push an extra $1,000 of your benefits into the taxable bucket. So, the government gives you a raise with one hand and taxes it back with the other. And it gets worse. If this extra income pushes you into a higher bracket, it can trigger higher taxes on your other income sources, like your IRA. Withdrawals. This phenomenon is known as the Tax Torpedo. It is a marginal tax rate spike that can see you losing 40 or 50 cents on the dollar for every extra dollar you earn. This is why tax planning, specifically Roth conversions, is not optional. It is a survival skill. Understanding how to minimize taxes on your Social Security is a key component of how to plan retirement after 60 effectively. The sequence of returns risk in a low COLA world. When Social Security doesn't keep up with your bills, you have to withdraw more from your portfolio to make up the difference. This exposes you to what we call sequence of returns risk. If you are forced to sell stocks to pay for groceries during a market downturn because your Social Security check didn't stretch far enough, you are permanently depleting your nest egg. You are selling low to survive. This accelerates the depletion of your portfolio and drastically increases the chances that you will run out of money in your 80s. This is why the 4% rule is dangerous in high inflation environments. If your personal inflation rate is 6%, but your portfolio is only growing at 5%, and you are withdrawing 4%, the math doesn't work. You are in a negative spiral. You need an income floor that is robust enough to cover your essential expenses without forcing you to sell stocks in a bear market. The solution: building your own inflation shield. So, enough with the bad news. How do we fight back? You cannot change the government's formula. You cannot stop Medicare premiums from rising. But you can change your strategy. You need to build a personal inflation shield. First, you must look at assets that have a history of beating inflation. I am talking about dividend growth stocks. Companies that have raised their dividends every year for 25 years or more. These Dividend Aristocrats effectively give you a pay raise every year, often exceeding the rate of inflation. Unlike a bond payment, which is fixed, a dividend can grow. This growing income stream is your best defense against the rising cost of milk and medicine. These are often considered among the best retirement investments for seniors because they provide both income and growth potential. Second, consider Treasury inflation-protected securities, or TIPS. These are government bonds where the principal value adjusts with inflation. They are designed specifically to preserve purchasing power. While they won't make you rich, they ensure that a portion of your portfolio keeps pace with the CPI. Also, look at I-bonds. While the rates change every 6 months, they are a direct hedge against the CPI. Third, and this is critical, you must optimize your tax strategy. By converting traditional IRA money to Roth IRA money during years where your income is lower, you reduce your future required minimum distributions, RMDs. Lower RMDs mean lower combined income, which can help keep your Social Security benefits tax-free and avoid RMAA surcharges on your Medicare premiums. It is all connected. This is a cornerstone of the Wealth Shield protocol we discuss often on this channel. And finally, you have to rethink your budget. I know nobody likes the B word, but in a high inflation world, you need to know your burn rate down to the penny. You need to separate your needs from your wants. Your Social Security and stable pensions should cover your needs. Your portfolio withdrawals should cover your wants. If your needs exceed your guaranteed income, you are vulnerable. You might need to look at downsizing or relocating to a state with a lower cost of living and better tax treatment for retirees. This is part of a comprehensive over 60 retirement planning checklist. The Widow's Penalty Reminder. I also want to remind you of something we discussed in our last video, because it is so important. The widow's tax penalty. If one spouse passes away, the household Social Security income usually drops significantly, often by 33 to 50%, depending on the claiming strategy used. But the household expenses, property taxes, utilities, maintenance, do not drop by half, and the surviving spouse is pushed into the single tax bracket, which is much less favorable. A meager 2.5% COLA does nothing to prepare a surviving spouse for this financial shock. You must have a plan for the survivor. Life insurance, or a well-funded Roth IRA, can be the lifeline that keeps the survivor in their home. Your action plan for 2002. Here is what I want you to do this week. Do not just wait for the letter from the Social Security Administration. Be proactive. 1. Log in to your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. Check your benefit statement. See what your estimated benefit is. 2. Estimate your 2025 Medicare Part B premium based on your income from 2 years ago. That is the tax year they use. Check if you might be subject to IRMA. 3. Calculate your net COLA. Take your estimated gross increase, subtract the Medicare increase, and see what is actually hitting your bank account. Is it enough to cover your rising grocery bill? 4. Sit down with your CPA or tax professional. Ask them to run a projection. Will this COLA increase push me into a tax trap? Should I do a Roth conversion this year to offset it? Do not be a passenger in your own retirement. Be the pilot. The government has a plan for your money, and it involves you keeping less of it. You need a better plan. You need to know how to create passive income after 60 that isn't dependent on government whims. This channel, Retirement Planning TV, is dedicated to giving you that plan. We are going to keep tracking these numbers. We are going to keep showing you the hidden traps. And we are going to keep sharing the strategies that the wealthy use to protect their legacy. Whether it's estate planning made simple or finding the best safe investments for seniors, we are your partners in this journey. I have a question for you, and I want to hear your real-world experience in the comments. When you go to the grocery store or pay your utility bill, what is your personal inflation rate? Does 2.5% feel accurate to you? Or does it feel like a joke? Let me know below. I read every comment because your reality is more important than the government's statistics. If you found value in this breakdown, if you appreciate someone telling you the truth about the numbers, please hit that subscribe button. Share this video with a friend who is counting on Social Security. Knowledge is power, but only if you share it. My name is Bill. Thank you for watching Retirement Planning TV. Stay vigilant, protect your purchasing power, and I will see you in the next video.